trying to grow great bud in a tiny tent, this video will show you how much you can expect and how to squeeze every last gram out of that baby. But first, check this out. Today's video is brought to you by RealDGC.com. If you want to connect with our private community of premium growers, get grow tips from some of the best growers around the world, and get access to exclusive Dude Grow Show content. Membership is free, and you can become a DGC producer if you want to help support the value that we bring you here. Head on over to RealDGC.com and get signed up today. All right, back to the show. You get a 2x2. You get a 2x2. Everybody has room to grow in a 2x2. We're going small.
2x2. I would have normally not considered a 2 foot by 2 foot tent, but High C has grown in one. Grambo, you grown a 2x2 or a 2x4? What's the smallest tent you grown in?
2x4. Yeah, that's the smallest place I've ever grown in.
What was Grow Guru's? A 2x1?
He did. He showed up as a
computer cabinet, I think.
It was. But anyway, I was thinking about it because I was kind of goofing 2x2, but you can grow enough weed just if you're one person and you don't smoke a ton, you can grow enough weed to keep yourself consistently.
There's a lot of reasons. Let's hit them. So I mean, it's great for small spaces, right? Almost everybody, I say, unless you're like in that apartment in New York or,
even so, a 2x2, you can pretty much fit anywhere.
Yeah. It's good for small spaces. You're not going to have a ton of plant material in there. We're probably going to be able to handle the odor okay. Once you get into 5x5, bigger, like you definitely need proper size. Like you still can have odor, but it's not nearly as much.
You could probably just have a very small carbon filter in there and just be pulling air through. As long as you have that negative airflow, so you're pulling air through the tent and out the carbon filter, and you can really control smell that way. So
tight budget. This is the most affordable tent to buy, as well as uses the least amount of power. We're talking 100-watt light here.
What are these, like $500 for the whole kit? Something like that?
Not even. No. We're talking like 300 something probably. Check out AC Infinity. Coupon code Dude Grows. But they're not that expensive, and they're not going to draw enough power to where it used to be people were HID days and different lighting before the advancements were really worried about their power bill. You're not even going to notice this baby. Barely.
All right, so let's think about it, man. Let's think about what can you do with a 2x2? Oh, I like that. What can you do with the 2x2?
Well, first, we're going to grow some dank. There can be grow challenges. Like, how many plants would you grow in one? Would you do one? Would you do two?
Brother, I had time to think about this. Okay. Ready? I do 4.
And what size container? 4?
Maybe 2 gallons. All right. You want to hear this? I think I can get you 2 plants. What do you think you'd get off? Okay. I think I can get you 2 plants every 30 days out of a 2x2.
You're going to do perpetual, eh?
I think, man. All right. I'll set up my closet. All right. I got this little closet and I put a sheet in it. You ever get like the little closet rack things? Yep. So I got the closet rack. It's a 2x2x4. They're only 48 inches. Some of those tents are, I think a lot of the 2x2s. You put a shelf above it. You get the little AC Infinity clone kit, right?
Yep.
You grow yourself some clones. You put them in a 2-gallon. You throw them in the tent. Right before you throw them in the tent, you cut some clones.
I like it. I like having more than one plant, bottom line, because you're putting a lot of pressure on just having one plant. Even if you're doing 2-3 gallons, that will fit well. I don't know if I'd go up to 5 gallons in a 2x2 because
for one plant? Just one plant, you're saying, in a 2x2 with a 5-gallon?
I would do 1 in a 5.
Yeah.
I'm doing 2, I would do 3 gallons.
Yeah.
But the one of the issues is we have an environment that is very small. You're going to have to be on top of exhausting and actively air exchange.
Constant active air exchange.
Pretty much.
You got to be just pulling air through that constantly. Whatever your room temperature air is going to be very similar to what inside the tent. And that's where you get that negative airflow and keep that.
And that's not complicated. Simply an inline exhaust fan on a little controller or timer. You
don't even need a timer. I just plug that thing in. Whatever my fan and filter is, I just plug that thing and have it be ripping air through there constantly. But because the air is going to get stagnant in that little tent, and your plant is using CO2, it needs air circulation.
Especially, the more it grows when they're not just little nursery plants. Definitely. Strain considerations are important. If you can do research, there are definitely strains that are known to be squatter. Strains that are okay. Strains that are like, dude, this beast goes crazy. So
do your research on strain.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of strains, you do want to avoid those taller, stretchier, sativa dominant plants. Man, I know it's cliche, but yeah, they're like hash plant, I'm thinking, or something like the densest plant I've ever seen, man. But these short, little dense indicas, the tight internodal spacing, and you don't want to veg them for very long.
Yes, this is not a long veg situation because we want to, I mean, you could even where, if you know some other videos of the show, sometimes it's okay to go right to a flowering cycle even,
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, that's not going to create buds right away. You're still going to have a veg thing, but man, you want to go to flower pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
This type of setup because your plants are going to, what do we say? At least double to triple,
They'll double. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I would keep them in the clone tray, a couple weeks in the clone tray, transplant them, take that AC Infinity Light, whatever, prop it up, then grow these things for 2 weeks, just a 2-week veg under those little lights, then throw them in the flowering, and you have a little, what are you going to get? A plant that's that big? It's going to flower up into something that's that big.
Yep.
What do you think you get off it, yield-wise?
Well, what's the rule of thumb if you're doing well? Is like a gram per watt, right? Maybe.
That's the old rule. That was like for like 2.5 pounds per light for Thowies back in the day.
I'd still stick with that if I'm getting 100. This is 100 watt light. I'm recommending for a 2x2 LED.
Right.
That I'm gonna get 100 grams minimum per harvest is my goal.
It is cool. 100 grams for 100 watts is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm wondering. I was asking everybody before, but if you had 2 plants coming out, say you've got 2 gallons, 2-gallon containers, you got 2 plants. Come on, Grambo, what do you think? You think you get 2 ounces off each of those plants?
I think the dude was right on with about a gram per watt. I grew in my 2x4. I got about a half pound or so on a 240 watt light. So a little below a gram. So I'd say, yeah, expect maybe a QP.
Man, I'm going 2.5 grams per light per watt, man. That's what I got. I got 2.5.
All right, we'll wait for Scotty's harvest and weigh it. In the meantime, let us know about your small grow spaces, whether it's a small tent or a small area. We have a member on our team, One-Eyed Cat, he grows in a dishwasher. That does really well with it. So.
Yeah, Cat, what do you yield? Let us know in the comments.
Leave us some comments below.
I love it, dude. This was fun. All y'all, if you dug this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe if you don't. And ask your grower buddy what they would yield out of a 2x2. And check out the other couple of videos YouTube's recommending.